Okay. Hello, welcome to take 5 of episode 1 of Get Bent with Kent. This show is all about cannabinoid science, and I can tell my camera's already leaning. Okay. I'm sorry, I've been having to deal with a lot of technical issues, including YouTube having changed after reading 50 pages of their terms, service agreement. They've altered their terms of service on me. Anyway, I'm sorry. I know I'm taking up a lot of your time right now. I really don't care because, so many of you people on YouTube, you got 30 seconds of video and you build a 17, 18, 20 minute video around 30 seconds of video. My name is Kent Kruger. It was spelled K-R-U-E-G-E-R on Austin Access TV. And by the way, in looking at YouTube, I see a lot of you are using the term get bent. Please, get bent. I used the title Get Bent with Kent beginning 21 years ago on Austin Access TV. I have been, for the last couple of decades, the world's leading biomedical, especially cannabinoid researcher on this planet. Let me state my accomplishments first here for those of you who are unfamiliar with me, although a lot of my old students may recognize me, even though I'm not wearing my glasses. And I hope you'll forgive me. I have glaucoma. I have I will blink a lot. I tend to have to wipe my eyes pretty regularly because of the exudate. But thanks to certain accidents or serendipitous happenings, I was the first person on this planet to discover that the largest selling class of drugs, the aspirin-like drugs, also called antiprostanoids, which includes garlic, the number 2 food additive after sodium molecules, that they destroy our natural, God-given marijuana-like substances. I was the first person also to conclude that these substances, particularly arachidonyl ethanolamide, was our God-given cure for cancer. See, all we old doctor types know that neoplasia, that cancer is a disease of spontaneous remission, that most of the time if the patient isn't too bad off, and they can just rest and eat right, they will heal on their own. The problem is, though, is the pervasive use of aspirin-like drugs and garlic in our diet. And therein lies the problem. By 98, I'm the one that had the study done that showed that the majority of Americans have a metabolic defect, that the majority of disease in this country, way more than half, it's way more than that. That's what we knew of diseases caused by the aspirin-like drugs, that over half the hospitalizations, half the doctor office visits were to treat the diseases then known to be caused by the aspirin-like drugs, and it's far greater than that. And I can tell by looking at my camera, I'm on about a 5-degree slant right now. I don't really care. Hey, we're getting bent, right? Anyway, good, this is going well. Okay, as I said, that was my first discovery, was that these antiprostanoids, which includes garlic, I'm going to keep ramming that home for you idiots out there that think garlic is something great. No, it's pure poison, lethal poison, just like aspirin. And then I quickly concluded that that was what was actually responsible for the increasing, death by cancer rate. And then I very promptly concluded that, yes, cannabis will cure cancer by replacing the endocannabinoid known as arachidonyl ethanolamide, or just AEA for short. It actually can replace up to about 3 of them. And so my body of work is actually huge. It's enormous, and I paid for it. You didn't. Early on, I knew that, learned very quickly that I wasn't going to get anything out of the hippies, the hipsters and stuff. You would invite me to your events where I would, when I was asked to speak, I would then steal the crowd away from the group leader like Mike Kleinman, who would be up there playing, hemp for victory and trying to pass around petitions in a state that have no public referenda. Do you see how idiotic you were, Mike Kleinman? And I'm here to counteract the claims by many stupid hippies that don't know that they're up, subject, to lawsuits for claiming that they, like Rick Simpson, you claim that you discovered that cannabis cures cancer? No, buddy, that was me. And I'll probably see you in court. I intend to fully take you down, and every hippie like you, Rick Simpson. I'll need some financing from some of you people, so we'll get to that here in a minute. But the technique I used early on was I gave my work away. My work was strictly financed by me and the University of Texas. It's a large sum of money. I went to foundations. There was one lady at the Epilepsy Foundation that offered me a large sum of money. I found out later it was her money, not the foundation money. She has since left the foundation, and all record of my contact with her is also gone. That's one of the reasons I'm back here, is my friends and family are saying that I need to come back and reassert and make my place where I properly belong in history. I'm actually due a couple of Nobel Prizes, which I know I won't get, because the secret of both my athletic, academic, and legal success has been from not obeying orders and not playing by the rules. One of my things was not to go mess with peer review, which is one of the most time-consuming, and you're having to deal with all these sharks and stuff. That ain't happening with me. I'm going to move as fast as I possibly can in the field of science, which meant self-publication and distribution for free. That was also, giving my work away for free was also my technique mechanism for separating the 2% from the 98%. 2% of you are wise enough at an early age, or you are in a mature, educated state, that you know very little. The other 98% of you are a bunch of Google PhD that thinks that little thing in your hand makes you a genius and that you know it all. Trust me, you know almost nothing. Really. I've had so many arguments with so many idiots now. It's explosive. I use that technique because early in life, and being a salesman and getting around in this world and traveling and stuff like that, that's what I found over and over again, is that the idiots always think that the price reflects the value or the quality of what is being sold. No, not to those of us who are perspicacious and competent to evaluate the product being presented to us. So let me get on with it. Time is running short. So I've decided this giving it away on YouTube won't work. It's not going to work. I need to set up, I was urged years ago, was in the process of, before I had to deal with more health problems. I'm in fairly good shape right now. Actually, I'm a little bit depressed. Let's see if I have the time to even mention that. I'm actually, if you can't tell, I'm profoundly depressed because 2013 I received a near lethal burn and had to spend a lot of time immobilized, etc. And one of the things I did was I had stumbled upon and began to investigate the new black supremacy movement, and it just made me mentally ill. They call themselves the Black Hebrew Israelite Christians. Yep, they're that crazy. They're that crazy. And I've been quantifying them for the last 4 years. The majority of black adults are the most racist people outside of the Orient. And so on. They're just the most vile, vulgar, homicidal. They're just crazy. Listening to them and their version of science and history has just depressed the hell out of me. Anyway, let's get on with it. So what I'm going to do is to set up a website which will have a layperson section so that you can understand the anti-cancer. It's really the cancer curing diet. It's what you must eat while you're on cannabis, and so on. I'll get that up there, and I've got to step it up. I can't do this Alex Jones feed you a bunch of garbage for nothing. It's going to be $10 a month subscription. The people that need it for their cancer treatment, they're only going to be there for a few months. For students who are going to go long term and go for a year at a time, maybe $60, $80 a year instead of $120. But I'm not going to pay for that website. You're going to pay for that website. I've spent all the money out of my pocket. I don't know if I mentioned it in this take or not. The Saudis killed me. We were due to drill my third well last summer. The Saudis have already robbed me out of it'll be at least 3 years of high income. I'm in no mood or do not have the means to be giving. I've already told you, I'm not going to give you anything more. You're going to have to start paying for it. I'll give you little bits and pieces on here on YouTube, but you're not going to get it in an organized, professional manner with citations, which, by the way, I know almost none of you have the skills, just like you, Carl T. Raff of Carlmont High School, mathematician, code writer. We kept telling you, Carl, you don't have the skills to deconstruct an original paper in biomedical research. We finally shut you up in September of 2015 because you're a know-it-all. You know, so I need $100,000 to start this website. Just because one thing, it absolutely cannot happen without me having like a data entry person and webmaster for at least the first year. That's going to run around $50,000 even if I hire a local kid. The HughesNet satellite, stuff like that, it's $100,000. You know, that minimum. That's what I have to have. If you can't come up with $100,000, you know, to cure, you know, to help cure you and your, you know, friends and families, you know, cancer, and your other, I'm not going to be just talking about. If those who are familiar with me know that I know a lot more. I'm going to be talking about food chemistry, how you're all screwed up by listening to these Dr. Oz's and all these other idiots that are pushing stuff. I hope I have enough time here. I will going to do this. I was in town a couple days ago, Friday. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I was trying to convince an elderly man who was in his late 70s probably. He had enough spinach just in the front of his basket. It was most of his. I was trying to tell him, sir, that that's going to kill you. You know, I was trying to explain, you know, vitamin K activity, clotting, you know, platelet aggregation factor, all this stuff to him, and he just didn't care. He just keeps listening to those idiots that keep telling him, you know, what to do. And I guess this is really what it's all about, is I'm going to separate the idiots, the 98% from the 2% of you who are actually going to learn something. And I can't do it. That won't happen here on YouTube because YouTube is mostly for a bunch of clowns and stuff. There's the GoFundMe account will probably be titled Kent Kruger, Cannabinoid Science and Health. I need $100,000. I need it before the end of September, or I'm just going to start losing. By then, I'll start losing interest in it. I might give it another month after that, but that's the absolute limit. If it isn't there by October, if I can't get cranked up, if I can't get, you know, matter of fact, if I can't start cranking up by the 1st of September, I'll just take the money and go buy a couple of kilos of weed and get me some hookers, because that's the way GoFundMe works. Is I don't have to be accountable to you for anything. If you don't meet my needs, my goal, then I can spend the money whatever way I want to. Thank you for your time. This has been Kent Kruger. I'll see you in the next episode, which will be just a matter of days.